Well, I live in Lower Manhattan. I face the north tower, the north side where the first plane crashed into the building. And right now, there's a lot of chaos on the ground, a lot of emergency vehicles. Everyone from the World Financial Center has exited and is walking north up to Battery Park North. There's just mass and mass of people walking north uptown of Manhattan. I was happened to look on the first tower, and I actually saw people waving where the first plane crashed through, and then it was unbelievable seeing this second jet come crashing into the second tower. What is going on?
Can you tell us what you saw?
Yes, I was sitting at my desk and I heard this big boom, a loud sound. And when I looked out the window, the top floor on the World Trade Center, there's flames just coming down, crashing down to the ground on the west side. All the cars, and they were like running into each other, and the flames just started coming down real hard. Then another sound exploded again, another impact.
What building are you in? How far away?
I'm in the World Finance Center, but my windows is opposite side to the World Trade Center. I'm in the C Tower.
I just want to say something. We're looking at a picture here where it appears, because of the angle, I think, that the towers are leaning, and I don't think that that is actually the case, because after the first impact, it looked as if it was the right-hand tower was leaning, and now somebody is saying, we're getting a witness saying they are leaning.
Did you just see another explosion?
No, I heard it because I'm holding on the phone with you. So I heard another big boom again. It just exploded again.
Do you see people leaving the building?
We left. Everybody left already. I'm the only one here on my floor. I gotta get out.
But what can you tell us about the build? Can you see people on the ground from the two?
At the bottom, yes, and then the fire brigade, and they came. Everything else, they're downstairs there right now.
Do you see people that are injured? What can you?
No, I can't. I'm on the 28th floor.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's minute to my vision. I really can't see too much.
All right. Thank you very much, Arlene, and please get out of that building and seek
safety.
Thank you.
I'm leaving right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, be safe.
Actually, right now, which will give you an idea of the type of impact we're talking about.
And that perhaps they're buckling under the force of the collision or the hole that's resulted from these two planes.
Is Melinda from Air 11 available?
We will get to her in a few minutes,
okay.
But you are seeing her pictures right now, and we'll hear her report in just a minute.
Yeah, well, I was in a car driving up, just gotten out of the Battery Tunnel, driving north on West Street when an enormous explosion happened. And it was larger than a construction explosion. I looked out the window, and what appeared to be an enormous tire smashed into the ground, and I believe it hit the car to the right of me. And it was just so scary, and there was also a ton of debris fall. And I jumped out of the car and I ran south away from the building because I thought there would be further explosions.
I'm not sure if it's our Janice Huff, but she apparently was a witness to the second explosion.
You saw this? Where are you?
No. Listen, I'm watching TV right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And, I can see the pictures that we have of the building, the first building, the one with the tower on the top. And as I'm watching it and you're talking, I see a plane flying behind the other tower.
Needless to say, it's pandemonium, I am sure, down there, and we gathered that from even the eyewitnesses with whom we spoke, and how terrifying this was for them to see. And you can only imagine, as you get closer to the Twin Towers, a New York landmark, what the scene must be like there.
So there was another plane with the second explosion.
From what I am looking at on television, from the angle that I was looking.
Here's a replay right here, I believe.
When I was watching looking at the first tower, I noticed that there was a small plane coming around the side of the building. You see it there on the right?
I see it. I see it.
So it's coming down.
I do see it right there.
There it is, right there.
I see it.
And then it goes boom, right there. Watch.
That's
there it is.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't know if it's a helicopter or a plane, but it was certainly flying, and it went right into the building.
It was a plane.
Remember the terror on the faces of the people inside these buildings when this happened back in '93, and they were crying and trying to get out of the building, scrambling to get down the stairs. 110 floors in this building, so we can only imagine the turmoil, the destruction, the mayhem inside that building as we speak right now.
Let's go to April Lamonica up in Chopper 4 with some more information. April?
April, can you hear us? I guess we'll get to April
we've lost contact.
in just a moment.
Then we saw a huge cloud of smoke
and then fire came out of one of the towers. Here, it's near the upper floor, as you can probably see with your chopper shots. And then about 10 minutes ago, a second explosion in the second tower.
Now, we can't speak to the first one, but that second aircraft that went through looked like a large twin-engine or three-engine jet. Those are simply not around for private aviation.
Yeah, that's not your Piper Cub.
No, it is not.
That's obviously designed to do considerable damage to those buildings on this day when we're holding a primary election in New York City.
Now, I would imagine... Ollie?
Jim, what you're saying could be a drone aircraft. That's an aircraft that's guided electronically to its target without having a pilot. Now, that is a possibility as well.
Jane, you said you saw the first plane. Did you get a glimpse of what kind of plane that was? We were told it was a small commuter plane.
Well, it wasn't a Cessna or anything like that. It was a larger plane, a mid-sized plane, and we could hear it very low. And walking down the street, a couple of us looked at each other, thinking, what's happening? Then it veered drastically on its side through the buildings and then went into the upper floors of the World Trade Center tower.
Again, you're looking at a live picture of the World Trade Center, where shortly before 9 o'clock this morning, and then shortly after 9 o'clock, planes apparently deliberately crashed into the buildings. Alani DeVito, are you there? Alani DeVito, are you there? I understand we have another eyewitness to this catastrophe. Lonnie DeVito, are you there? Apparently we lost Lonnie, but again...
This may be confusing to some people, because in a sense it is a little confusing to me. We every now and then see what looks like, I don't know if it's the bottom of a chopper that is swinging back and forth.
That would be our.
That is ours.
That would be the rotors from our chopper. Every once in a while.
Hey, Jim.
Right now, let's as you can see, the chopper force had to back off. Let's go back to April LaMonica up top. April.
Okay, what we can tell you right now from up here in Chopper 4.
Well, Michael, as you know, things are really chaotic at the present time. There are several things that we do know. Obviously, you've already shown pictures of two planes that hit the World Trade Center.
We cannot get any closer than about 5 miles to the scene because we need to keep this far back. But you can see the black smoke as far as we are away. We can zoom in here for you. First, you saw the smoke from the one tower. Then we witnessed an explosion on the other tower. Now, we think that there was a plane that actually headed into that second tower at some point, and that's what caused that second explosion. We are unable to get close enough to actually show you or tell you what's going on at the ground, but an unbelievable sight here from above the Hudson River at this vantage point. Back to you.
What I saw was one plane coming in low from the north down over 7th Avenue. It crashed into the top or the middle of one of the towers. 10 minutes later, I saw another plane crash into the other side of the tower at a lower level. It looked to be a small, commercial plane, the first plane that I saw. It crashed into the top of the tower, and there was a huge fireball, and there was a gaping hole in the side of the tower. As we were waiting outside and looking at it, another plane came in low, I believe from the other side, and hit the sort of the middle of the other tower. So I saw both planes, two separate planes, crash into each tower.
Black smoke was seen pouring as we see it pouring out right now, two gaping holes. It's right now not clear what caused the second explosion, though we did see that plane coming right into that tower, yes. And that's video that you cannot...
It's just unfolding before your eyes, and you read about these things, you hear about them, but we actually saw this happen in front of us, and it's just astounding, amazing.
Also, there's speculation about what caused the flight, the crash. There is some speculation that it could have been a problem with the air traffic control system. Others speculate that it could be some kind of terrorist attack. It's too confusing, and people just don't know what's happening right now.
This, of course, is unconfirmed, but we are getting information from an employee of United Airlines. And again, we want to emphasize this is unconfirmed, but there is speculation that an American Airlines plane was hijacked and crashed on purpose into the World Trade Center, and that the second plane was another plane, perhaps hijacked, was then flown in to the second tower.
Can you tell us anything new about what you saw in the second impact?
Yeah, the second impact threw out a lot of debris right through the building, out the opposite side on the north face of it. It just threw out all manner of confetti like shrapnel.
Okay.
And you're looking again, close-up shot. You can see inside the fire that is emerging from that building, from the inside of the building. Again, assuming that there are people in the building. It would be hard to evacuate with such little notice.
There is one thing. After the bombing of the World Trade Center in the 90s, I do know that there were major efforts to have disaster drills, to have a preparedness plan in the event of an awful tragedy like this.
Was the second tower ever involved until the second collision, or was it just one tower to that point?
I can't tell right now because from this vantage point, the towers are superimposed on one another, and it's very difficult to tell where the impact was.
Actually, I was washing my dishes at my window, and I heard a very low plane, which usually does happen, but when I looked up, it was like I was actually gliding with it, and I saw it actually went straight into one of the Twin Towers. It was like it sunk right into the floor. It disintegrated instantly.
Can you tell us what kind of an airplane it was?
It looked like a huge 747. It was a big airline. It wasn't a small jet. It was a big carrier.
And you couldn't see anybody? Could you see a pilot or any such thing?
No, I actually was. It was like side by side. It was like I was right behind it. It was huge. I couldn't believe how low it was. I was telling my roommate, this plane is very low. And I actually saw it go straight into the Twin Towers. Like, why is he going into the building? It was like it was almost deliberately glided into the building.
Thousands of pieces of what appeared to be office paper came drifting over Brooklyn, about 3 miles from the tower, according to one witness, Lynn. Now, this
is happening again.
So I run downstairs and I see on the news that it looks like another fighter jet is what it looks like. And from my house, I can see all the smoke that's into Dyker Heights. I can see all of that. It's ridiculous. I can't believe all this is happening, honestly.
You say you're in Dyker Heights,
Yes.
Lonnie?
Yes.
Okay. And could you hear the blast from where you were?
No, I couldn't hear the blast, but I saw something, and it didn't look pretty. Exactly how I can't explain it in any other way. I'm in shock right now.
All right.
And you then saw the plane go into the building, and I assume you saw the resulting...
You better believe it. I saw an explosion like I have never seen, and all I can say is those people, I don't know, but they're all definitely disintegrated. It was the most awful thing I've ever seen. It was so sad. I was like a nervous wreck.
Well, I don't blame you. I appreciate you.
It really was awful, and all I can say is we should pray for those people because it looked to me that it was deliberate. Unless the pilot had a heart attack, it was like this big 747 just went right into the floor of the Twin Towers.
Since it happened about 5 minutes ago, I'm a little shaken because I saw the plane pass before my eyes. It was just about at my eye level. So
how close to you?
A block and a half.
The plane was coming in low, and it looked like a hit at a slight angle, said one witness, a CNN vice president. This is according to the CNN network.
Do we have the tape ready of the second plane impacting? We're going to put that tape on in just a second. Here, we're about to roll it now. If you can, sir, I don't want you to speculate, but if you can, give us an idea of what you think might be at play here. What kind of plane we're talking about, or at least what size. If we're talking about one that would hold, say, 100 people, one that would hold 300 people. From what you see, we'll have to back the tape up further than that, guys. Here we go.
It's very hard to get a perspective on it. I don't know how far away we are at this, but that looks to me like it could be certainly a passenger jet and one of those aircraft that could hold 100 or more people. I caution you at this point to wonder whether or not that airplane was occupied by more than just a pilot or crew. We don't necessarily know that there were any passengers aboard that airplane.
Understood. Understood.